3 o'clock, back again with another local business in our community, highlighting another local business in our community. I'm Rob with Echo Fine Properties, and we've had a heck of a day today, folks. Technical difficulties all across the board, but guess what? We're back up, we're running, we're ready to roll. This one's a very special guest today. It's a very, very good friend of mine, local guy, coaches baseball, football. What doesn't he do? He's always all over the sports fields with the kids. He coached my kids for years. Great guy, great business owner. Here he comes, Homer Zulaica, owner of Griffin Global Systems, and Suzanne Slate, as always, real estate agent with Echo Fine Properties. So, Homer, how you doing, man?
Good afternoon. How you doing, Rob?
Good. So I'm going to let Suzanne take it away, and we're going to find out a little bit more about what your company has to offer, okay? So, Suzanne, take it away.
Thanks, Rob. Hey, Homer, how are you today?
I'm doing, and yourself? I'm good.
Well, it's so awesome to have you here. We just love highlighting our local businesses, and I would say with what's going on in the environment right now, people are going to need your services. So we want to make sure they know all about you and how to find you, because there's a lot of people out of work that might be looking for jobs. So
well, thanks for having us. We do appreciate it.
Yeah. What is Griffin Global? Can you explain to us?
Yeah, Griffin Global Systems is an IT staffing and consulting firm that offers concierge service for various different levels of IT and engineering across the country. Nowadays, where we are in 2020, most companies, whether they're a 2 or 3 man firm or a 10,000 employee company, they have some form of platform of engineering or IT in their company. And a lot of times there's either upgrades going on, or there's maintenance, or they're switching platforms from one vendor to another. And many times they will have their full-time direct employees do that work for them. And a lot of times they'll have contractors come in and do it for them. And our customers reach out to us. Where we fit in is they'll come to us and say, hey, Griffin Global, we need this. Here's the job description. And we need this person, Jane or John Doe, as a full-time employee, or as a contract employee at 1099, or as a contract to perm employee, meaning we're going to have them on as a contractor. We're going to kind of date them before we marry them. So they're going to come here, and if we choose them, they're going to come on a 3, 6, 12-month contract. And if we like Jane or John Doe's services, we're going to convert them over to a full-time W-2 employee. So what we do is, with our database and our team and our experience, we take the legwork out of finding the right person that they're looking for that specific role in that company.
How do people get on your database so that you can find a match for the companies?
Yeah. The first part of the job is with our customer is we sit down with the hiring manager or our point of contact at that specific company, and we do a download with them, meaning on the front end, well, we get that job description. And job description is really nice, but a piece of paper is often a piece of paper. And a lot of times it doesn't say what you actually need. So we get on a call with the hiring manager and we detail with them, we ask the questions that we have. So we qualify it. Part of that call, it takes a lot of the questions out of it from the beginning. And then at that point, we will go in and find our candidates. We've been building this database for quite a few years. So not only do we have our own internal database, but we have access to a number of candidates all across the country. So there's various different ways. They've already become part of our database from our inception, or we go out and find them through some of the search tools that we have.
That's awesome. So let's just say someone had a contract for 3 months and it's coming to the end of 3 months. Do you normally are able to find them another position before they leave? I think that's something that scares people when they feel like, oh, I'm only gonna have this 3 months. They'll stay with you for the longevity of being a contractor, which I don't know if a lot of people know can be very lucrative.
Yes, the contractors, they do pretty well. And usually when they're in that world, they're comfortable with 2 month, 6 month, 8 month, a year roles, because that's the life they're living now, and they're used to that.
Yeah.
It depends on the person and their skill set. If they have a skill set that's hard to find, yeah, we can more than likely find them another role. But more often than not, the people in this space, they're needed all across the country in various different types of businesses, from from merchandise and retail companies to manufacturing companies to federal positions. So they get placed pretty quickly once they leave a role.
Yeah, we did an interview yesterday with a gentleman that deals with cybersecurity.
Yes.
So that seems to be like a new thing in the IT world.
Yeah, our company is part of a national group called HITECH, which stands for the Hispanic IT Executive Council. I myself, I'm Mexican American. The owner is Venezuelan American. And what that group does, it meets every quarter. I'm telling you the stories. I'm going to get to the cybersecurity here in a second. And every quarter, they meet with various different Fortune 100 companies. We met at Facebook one time. We met at Capital One. We met at Oracle. 2 years ago, we met at the White House. And the owner and I had dinner at the White House and met with the CIO of the United States with HITECH. But the reason I tell you about HITECH is that every quarterly meeting we go to with them, you have CIOs and high-end, mid-level people in the IT industry around the country from various different professions. And every topic is about cybersecurity, and it's just constantly evolving because the digital platforms that everybody's on nowadays, the hackers are working, and they're working 24/7. So cybersecurity is, from this day forward, it's going to be a hot topic. Yes.
Yeah. Is there a lot of jobs in cybersecurity?
Yes, there are. The challenge is when a client wants to find somebody, they want X years of experience, and usually the good ones are gobbled up. So those can be difficult to find. So those tend to offer pretty good salaries for those specialists when those opportunities are out there.
Yeah, because I've seen a lot of advertisements for programs where you can get your cybersecurity certification, or I don't even know if there probably is a degree now, but I would think that would be a really good thing for young kids or people that don't have a job that want to get back into IT or into that world to, work towards.
Yeah, I tell you, I told my kids, understand some form of programming, because you will, I won't say never say never, but you're more than likely will not ever be out of a job if you are in some form of the IT industry, because it's everywhere now. It's our life. That's what we do. And
right.
Especially with engineers as well. So usually when you mentioned cybersecurity, usually, knock on wood, an internal HR department of a company will just have a heck of a time trying to find that person. That's when they would reach out to a firm like ours and say, hey, we need this niche person. We're kind of the bat phone. Once they've tried everything else, and they maybe have tried some of our competitors, we find ourselves kind of like a niche, because we're not a publicly traded company. We do have people around the country, but we react very quickly. Some of the larger firms out there are kind of like the Titanic. You can't turn on a dime with the Titanic. You need to have some room and some time to turn. We're very nimble and we're very quick when we offer our concierge service. So when that HR department said, they throw their hands up and like, we can't find that person. That's where we come in, because that's what we specialize in.
Well, now that we're, not able to go into offices and different things, do you have an office? If someone had background, they'd come in and say, I'm looking for a job. You have a database that you could look at. How do you work with your, not your clients that are looking for the clientele, but your clientele?
The candidates.
The candidates, correct. Yeah, sorry.
In this industry, it's all virtual. It's all electronic or over the phone. So, and we have our database, and they'll reach out to us when the candidate has when the candidate's out there and they have nothing to do, they'll reach out to us and say, hey, Homer, I need something. You got anything going on? And they'll reach out to us. But more often than not, we're reaching out to them because the customers come to us saying what they're looking for. We have customers on both ends, the candidate and the company that needs the candidate.
Right, so, right. And you can work for a company that's not in Florida per se, because a lot of them are virtual.
Yes, we have, I would say before this even happened, before the COVID crisis happened, our consultants, I would say at least 50 or 60% of them work remote anyway.
Yeah.
The way it is nowadays. Now we've placed people all across the country, from California to Texas to New York, Some of our clients in the past, I didn't even know about this company because I don't wear this type of jewelry. But we had David Yurman was one of our clients, and all
Yeah,
the
I saw that.
Oh, David Yurman. I don't even know who that is, but it's a big jeweler. I guess.
Oh, it's a nice one.
The Magnolia, Chip and Joanna Gaines, that TV show.
Oh yeah.
Space consultants with them. We Office Depot here in their corporate headquarters is in Boca Raton. That's one of our clients. We have also placed people in the FBI. So we've covered the gamut, everything from retail to manufacturing. One of the kind of a nerdy, interesting thing. One of our customers is Silgan Containers. They make all the cans for Campbell's Soup and Del Monte in the world.
Wow.
They're the biggest can maker and the tops for Gatorades. So kind of a bit of whatever knowledge. But
I love that.
we have everything from, like I said, we place people in the FBI that required top secret clearance. So we're able to find those types of folks. But we also find people in the retail sector, in the private sector that don't require any sort of clearance. Engineers and IT specialists.
Wow. I mean, I just love that you're local. That's just so important. There's so many people, in our area and that could reach out to you locally to find a job, maybe if they're moving they don't even know they could sit here and work somewhere else.
Yeah. And that's one of the things that we found during this COVID crisis that's going on is we clearly the unemployment numbers are coming out. Everybody knows what's going on. And, we're obviously in the employment staffing industry.
Yeah.
We've seen a lot of probably in the third week of March, things just started to kind of titrate down and slow down quite a bit. They're starting to tick back up now.
Yeah, I think so.
But we've had a lot of companies reach out to us and say, hey, we're not looking right now, but here's what we're looking for. And can you start putting some feelers out there? So things are coming back online.
Yeah.
And then the candidates themselves, they haven't really, on our space, they haven't been affected too much because most of them, once again, were remote in the first place.
Yeah.
So they've been able to continue to maintain because those companies need those engineers and IT specialists to keep everything going. So they can't just, shut them down. They have to keep everything going, and they can do that more often than not remotely.
What's the favorite part of your job?
Meeting all these interesting people because and meeting the interesting people, and then some of these jobs that when I got into this industry, I came from the sports medicine and professional sports world. I really knew nothing about it, and now we're meeting aerospace people that get as specific as, well, my specialty at General Dynamics or Raytheon was the landing gear left tire and the screw that went on that. I was on that project for 2.5. I'm like, you did what? Or satellite people, or we had a guy that we placed at NOAA who did these satellites for NOAA. I mean, it's just amazing what technology is out there that we learn every day.
It's really fun. And when I was a consultant, an IT consultant, I'd have to go, like you said, from manufacturing to healthcare to retail to government. So you have to think on your feet. It's a really fun thing to do. You get to meet a lot of different people. You don't have to sit in the same desk for 25 years and wait to get a wall after another wall, and then maybe a door after so many years, and work on the same system, having the same problems day after day. So it's really exciting. So what you do is, is really exciting. And like you said, you're meeting people in different positions that you have never known before.
And one of the other exciting things about our job is because once again, we're nimble. We're a small to mid-sized firm, but we service Fortune 100s and Fortune 50 companies, as well as the smaller firms like us. And what's really gratifying about the job is when you've had, like, for example, that NOAA job, that was open for, I think, 1.5 years. All the big publicly traded staffing firms and agencies out there tried to fill it, and they couldn't do it. We found somebody in 2 weeks.
Wow.
And when you're able to do that, you're like, you know what? You don't have to be the 800-pound gorilla.
Yeah.
You can be successful as long as your work ethic is there and your knowledge of the industry is there. And that's what we've done. And that's how we help separate ourselves, not only with our searching ability for our customers to find the right candidate, but since we run lean and mean, you'll go to a lot of the other companies, competitors' websites, and they'll have 5, 10, 15 pages of open jobs they're working on. There's no way on God's green earth that each one of those jobs are getting the attention that they need.
Yes.
We keep our recruiter to job opening ratio low, meaning that we're not going to load our recruiters up with multiple job openings because it's not going to get the attention that it needs to find the right person. Would we love to have more business and a ton of, absolutely, but you have to know when to say uncle, because you're not doing your customer satisfaction, or you're not doing them service by not giving that job requisition or that job opening the proper attention it needs. So every opening that comes into Griffin Global Systems, we treat like our little baby. It's our little baby, and we do everything we can to make sure that it's okay.
Well, that definitely sets you apart. I mean, we all have been in positions that, you know, we're in between jobs, and I've looked, you know, during that 2007-8 period, you know, when everything fell apart, and you're just putting your resume out there like 1,000 times, and you don't even know if it's going to get passed after you hit enter, you know, like, because all the algorithms and everything else. You could apply to 500 jobs, you don't know where it went, what it's doing. So with your services, you have a real person that's working for you.
Yeah, and our team is, we have a platform that we work off of. We have a system in place, and we make sure before we put any candidate in front of any of our customers, we make sure that they fit all the requirements that they're asking for. And because that's our job, that's what we do. We're trying to take the headache away from you, David Yerman, or Office Depot. We're doing the job for, we're finding the person for you. And the other benefit that we have along with it is that since we do run lean and mean, we're not passing on all the extra costs to the end client. So more often than not, our prices and our rates are significantly less than our competitors out in the market.
What do you think your average project time frame is for people?
It's really all over the place. We've had people, contractors. We had one contractor that was working for, I think, a year, but he was only doing like 20 hours a week at this customer because that's all they needed. But he was there for a year, so he was able to do other things that he needed to do. You know, a full-time placement, obviously that goes right in. You know, we don't just do contracts, but a full-time placement goes right in. Usually it's 6 months. It's kind of like the norm, but it's all dependent on the customer. It all depends on what they want to do. They can extend them after 6 months or 3 months.
Do you work with entry-level people too? I mean, it sounds like
it all depends. Yeah, because they will give us, they'll say, listen, this is an entry-level data analyst. This is an entry-level controls engineer. Here's the requirements. Here's the experience. Here's the pay rate we're at. So yeah, absolutely. We're from the entry level to the expert.
If I was graduating from college when I had an IT background and I hadn't found a job already, would I contact you to get on your database so I would be in there? And if someone's looking for my expertise or looking for, say, an entry level person? They
could. I always have sympathy for the entry level folks because, you know, we were all there. Everybody was there. And you're like, well, how can I get experience if you won't give me a job to get experience? And I feel for those guys. But yes, they can reach out to firms like ours. They have to be as active as possible now that we have the platforms that we have as far as online is concerned. The LinkedIn, the Indeeds of the world, the ZipRecruiters, get in those platforms and directly to the employers' websites as well. And
so
they have to go to the job.
You draw from like Indeed in those companies?
I'm sorry?
You mentioned Indeed and the other sites. Do you draw from that from people that get on there?
Those are some of the tools that we have access to.
Oh, great. Okay, I didn't know that. I think it's interesting. I have a friend's son that works for Indeed, and I don't know how that works.
Yeah, and it's the more that a college grad can get to those job fairs and networking opportunities, the better for them, because it's tough for the new grads coming out.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of internships, so you know they should take advantage of that also, and have some in Pratt & Whitney. I'm not Pratt & Whitney, but Nextera, FP&L. They take a lot of people that are in IT, and they do the summer internship, and they pay them quite well, and then they could do it for 4 years, and some of them, most of them end up with the job. So
we have one firm that we work with. It's called Kinetic Vision out of Cincinnati. Interesting place. They do some cutting edge stuff. I went there to visit with them. and you have to sign an NDA when you walk in, and you can't leave their eyesight. You have to, because they do stuff that like is secret there.
Yeah.
And, but anyway, I bring them up because they have a number of universities there in Cincinnati, and they have co-op programs. So they will have the co-op kids from college work with them for 2 or 3 years. And then once they graduate, they'll say, hey, Jane or John Doe, would you like to come on full time? We've seen you work over the last 2 years as a co-op student. We'd like to hire you. So yeah, and you know, for the new grads or the students that are out there doing what they're doing, they need to take initiative and do the internships and the co-ops, because employers look at that. If they see the kid is not exerting themselves, trying to, it's not going to bode well for them.
Yeah. Well, he probably wouldn't last after one co-op anyway, right?
Yeah.
He wouldn't be asked back.
Now Suzanne, I need someone to do my yard work for me. Homer, can you find me a staffer to do my yard work, or does that my kids come in there?
Well, more than likely your kids will do that, because my kids will do mine. But that's interesting you asked that, because we've had some of our clients, and once we build a relationship with them, they've come in and they say, hey, we're looking for a CFO. You know, Homer, can you guys help out with that? And we're always very clear with our clients, like, hey, we can do this, or we can't do it. But you know what? If we can't, call over here, because this is what they specialize. Because we have peers in the industry that specialize in different things. We had one of our big hospital systems. They asked us for medical billers, and this was a few years ago. And that's not our space, but they gave us enough information that we were able to find them a lot of medical billers to help recoup some of the fees they had in there. So we will branch out from our specialty if the customer asks us to, and if we're comfortable with it. So we don't just stick to engineering and IT. We will go to the C-suite level and some other things outside if it's within our comfort zone.
So
not so much.
So find me those landscapers to do my backyard. No, I'm kidding.
It's gonna be really expensive, Rob.
But I'll say one thing. You know, Homer, again, he's a local guy, lives in our community, eats here, sleeps here, coaches sports. Big youth coach with baseball, football, all the above. His family's here, so it's businesses like Homer's that, you know, again, this is why we're doing this, Suzanne. This is the businesses we need to support, because it starts here in the local community. Homer gives back to the community so much. In ways you can't even imagine, through sports, through everything. So guys like him, his business, are the ones that, you know, we need to support. Homer, for whoever's watching this or may see this at a later time, what's the best way to get in contact with you if they're interested in using your service?
Yeah, whether you're in South Florida or anywhere around the country, you can call me directly at 561-400-9301. Or you can go to our website, www.ggscorp.com. That's Griffin Global Systems, corp.com, and leave us a message there, and we'll get back to you. If you're not sure it's something that we can do for you, it never hurts to ask. We're always going to be honest and shoot you straight, but any way we can help out, we'd love to support the community a little more. We like to do a little more work here down in the South Florida area. While we do have customers, always open to help more people out if they're willing to.
And I can vouch for Homer. He always has his cell phone on him. He's got his watch. You know, I'm the worst one getting back to people. Homer's like, I haven't heard from you in 4 years. But Homer's always got his phone on him. He's always answering the phone. He's always on the phone. He's always working. I mean, you're at soccer games and he's on the phone talking business. But that's the person he is, a hardworking guy, and that's who his family is. And again, like I keep repeating, it's supporting local businesses like Griffin Global Systems and Homer and his family. They live here, they work here, they give back to the community. So anything else, Homer, anything else we're missing, anything else you want to add about your business, or anything we're forgetting to ask you?
Well, at the risk of sounding cheesy, every time you see me on the phone, whether I'm on the fields or elsewhere, it's business usually. And our customers, we're not a 9-to-5 shop. Our customers end up being our friends usually. And they have access to us, email, text, or phone call at all hours of the day and night, usually not after midnight and like before 5, but AM. But that's what we do. I mean, we have a family atmosphere, but we have all the tools and operational skills of a large publicly traded company, and we deliver results.
And on a side note, Homer used to work in sports medicine, used to work for the Dodgers, right, Homer?
Yeah, I used to work for the LA Dodgers, the Baltimore Orioles, and Did a quick stint in NFL Europe. I was the head athletic trainer in Amsterdam. And then one season of Major League Soccer, I was the head trainer for the Dallas Burn. Yeah.
When were you with the Dodgers? My grandfather worked for the Dodgers his whole life.
Oh, yeah. 95 to 2000, I think.
I think he was gone by then, but his name was Ira Hoyt, and he was the chief engineer, worked directly for O'Malley and built Dodger Stadium. He built Vero Beach, that whole area, the golf course in Dodger Town. And
yep. I worked for the O'Malley family until they sold the Fox. Wonderful family. Wonderful family.
Yeah.
My old roommate, we spent time together down in extended spring training when the young kids stay after the big clubs leave, was Kevin O'Malley, who is now the owner of the San Diego Padres. So very familiar with the O'Malley family. Great people. They treated us very, very well. I have nothing but great things to say about that family.
Well, as Rob knows, I'm a huge Patriot fan, so I'm not sure whether I'm going to be going to New England or to Tampa. I'm not quite sure because once Gronk joined him,
Well, are you a Patriot fan or are you a Tom Brady and Gronk fan? Which one is it?
I'm a Patriot fan forever, even before Tom Brady came along. But those two together are just too fun to watch.
Yeah.
If they stole Edelman, it would be a slam dunk.
As long as you don't watch the Philadelphia Eagles, you're good to go.
Oh, I know.
But on a serious note, guys, whoever's watching this, if you watch this at a later time, Homer, give me that website one more time and your phone number where people can reach out to you.
Yeah, 561-400-9301. And the website's www.ggscorp.com.
And I also have it in the verbiage above this video here. So really, give Homer a call. I'm telling you, he's a good guy. He's part of the community. He gives back. It's businesses, again, I think I've said this 4 times already, but it's these local businesses that we need to support. It's our community. We're in it together, and Homer will be there for you. He'll come by, and it's just the type of guy he is. So I want to thank you for joining us today, Homer. Suzanne, as always, thank you so much. And we'll be back at 4:00 today. I live on this computer, I swear. We'll be back at 4:00 today with another local business, Salute Market. And they're going to talk about Mother's Day coming up on Sunday. And then at 5:30 tonight, we have the Leafy Greens. Yeah, you heard it right. The Leafy Greens, a local band who's going to sing us some tunes. I don't know what. Acoustic, I'm guessing. We're going to find out. But the Leafy Greens, local band, check it out at 5:30 tonight. But for Homer Zulaica, Suzanne Slate, Rob Moore.
Thank you, Homer.
Have a great afternoon.
Thank you guys very much. Take care. Be safe.
Thank you.